Hello and welcome to Manga 96, and today we're going to talk about Arifureta Shokugyou de Sekai Saikyou. Today's topic will be the race that is on the brink of extinction, with only one member of said race currently being alive, which is quite ironic considering that this race is based off immortal bloodsuckers. However, the Tortus variant aren't immortal as they're just ordinary bloodsuckers. I'm of course talking about the vampires. But before we start, here's the spoiler warning, as I'll be spoiling a lot of things in this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I would highly recommend that you go and read a light novel, as it is an enjoyable read. For everyone else, let's start with who the vampires are. Vampires are near extinct race in Tortus. They are nearly identical in appearance to humans, but their skin is of a paler complexion. They are typically born with crimson red eyes, as well as their most noticeable trait of fangs in place of canine. Vampires are the least populous race of Tortus, even compared to the likes of demons, but their affinity to magic is stated to be the highest. The most unique characteristic of vampires is their ability to strengthen and heal themselves by drinking the blood of other races. Vampires are a long-lived race, being able to live up to 200 years and possibly more by drinking the blood of others. They are capable of procreating with other races, but their offsprings may not inherit several of their physical traits such as fangs. Vampires reside in the southwest tip of the southern continent. Most of them lived in an isolated country of Avataril. They had chosen to cut off all diplomatic ties with other kingdoms. Because of their power, various countries have tried to subject Avataril in order to use the power of the vampires to defend their own kingdoms. Vampires enjoy drinking blood to increase their strength, life force and mana. They are capable of gaining nutrients through normal consumption of food like most other beings, but drinking blood is the most efficient way for a vampire. Some vampires often engage in biting their blood donors as an act of sexual pleasure, as is often seen with Yue, always bites Hajime only to indulge in her bloodlust. Vampires had thought to have gone extinct 300 years before the heroes of Earth were summoned to Tortus when they were wiped out by X forces. As the most powerful race in Tortus in terms of magic, vampires usually possessed a high quantity of mana and were capable of learning various forms of magic at a fast rate. Although not known for their prowess in physical combat, vampires were physically stronger than the average human. They also possessed the skill blood conversion that was unique to their race. By drinking the blood of others, they could convert it into energy for mana, stamina and body strengthening. In addition, its derivative skill, Blood Oath, would allow a vampire to drastically increase their power by drinking the blood of an individual that they have entered a magical pact with. The drawback, however, is that if they drink the blood from any other individual, then the energy they would gain would be severely less than what they normally would receive. As for some important members of the race, first we have the Prime Minister of the race. Dynelite Gott Vesperity Avataril was Yue's uncle and served as the Prime Minister of the vampire country Avataril. Dynelite initially presented himself as a loyal and caring retainer for his niece, but has been secretly conspiring against her. Although it appeared to have been a plot to gain power for himself, he actually did it as a means to protect both his niece and the world from the wrath of the gods of Tortus. As Yue's mentor, he was very knowledgeable in terms of magic, politics and other various subjects. His intelligence and compassion earned him the support of many within Avataril. As for his past, Dynelite was the younger brother of King Lambert of the vampire nation Avataril, as well as its prime minister and the royal advisor and mentor to his niece and future queen, Yue, known back then as Altil Galdin Vesperil Avataril. At some point he had conquered both the Frost Cavern of Schnee and the Great Orcus Labyrinth and had acquired the ancient magic that resided within them. After Althea became the new queen of Avataril at the age of 17, Dynelite became more distant and secretive from his niece to the point where her vassals suspected him of plotting to overthrow her. When she was 23 years old, Dynelite and many of her subjects staged a coup d'etat against her while she was meeting with the Holy Church in an effort to make peace with the rest of the world. Dynelite killed Althea's parents and then stabbed her while she was too shocked to defend herself. She survived due to her ability to automatically heal herself, but the trauma caused her to pass out. While she was unconscious, Danlet shielded her deep inside the Great Orcus Labyrinth by placing her in a large block of sealstone to prevent her from using her magic. He also had several monsters of his own creation guard the room that she was confined in. When Avatari would fall at the hands of the Holy Church subjects, Danlet became possessed by the servant god of Echt, Alvehelti, who would then rule the demon nation Garland for 300 years. Alva would eventually be killed by US lover Hajime during the latter's attack on the demon capital, with Dindel's body having been completely erased from existence in the process. After the death of Echt, Yue received an artifact from Hajime that contained a message from Danlet had left for her in the Great Orcus Labyrinth. It explained that he wanted to save her in order to prevent Echt from fighting her and taking control of her due to her ability to exhibit the most of the self-styled God's power on the physical plane, and deep down he truly loved his niece and prayed that someone would find her and protect her. As for his relationship with Yue, he served Yue as her prime minister of the vampire country Avatarl. He betrayed his niece by sealing her deep inside the Great Orcus Labyrinth. It was later revealed that he wanted to save her in order to prevent Echt from fighting her and taking control of her. Moving on to Robaldo. Robaldo was a vampire that resided in Avatarl when Yue reigned over as the queen, back when she was first known as Althea, as well as being the captain of her royal guards. Robaldo was very loyal and devoted to his duty. He would not hesitate to carry out a task if it meant the well-being of his charge queen Althea. He was also known for going on a tirade whenever the queen did something he felt was unacceptable for her. As for his past, Robaldo acted as US captain of her personal guard during her time as the queen of Avatarl and would accompany her into battle. When Althea was meeting with a representative of the Holy Church in an effort to establish peace between vampires and humans, Robaldo was among her retainers that had aided her uncle in a surprise ambush. They killed all of the church representatives and Queen's loyal followers that were present, and Dindel subdued his niece by stabbing her and proclaimed himself as the new vampire ruler before imprisoning her deep within the Great Orcus Labyrinth. Robaldo most likely died when the vampires were later wiped out by the church followers at the behest of their god Echt. As for his relationship with Yue, Robaldo had served Yue since her birth and was both one of her retainers and guardians. He cared greatly for her well-being and was always worried for her safety whenever she went into battle. Despite his love for the princess, he would not hesitate to scold her whenever he felt she needed it. As for his relationship with Danlet, Robaldo was among those that aided him in his effort to usurp the throne from his niece and imprison her. It was later revealed that it was all done in order to prevent the false god Echt from possessing Yue's body. And lastly, moving on to Meru. Meru Melusen is a Dagon vampire mixed blood and an amethyst, with the ability to use one of the ancient magic from the Age of Gott. She is also the creator and caretaker of Melusen Labyrinth. On the surface, Meru is a kind and charming woman that is always smiling. In reality, however, she is mischievous and sadistic. She enjoys teasing others and will torment her enemies to the point that it will look like she is torturing them. Even so, Meru cares greatly for her allies and will risk her life for them. She is charismatic enough that she manages to recruit hundreds of pirates that will gladly lay down their lives for her. She is also a good judge of character and can easily discern those that she can trust. Meru is a greedy and will look for any opportunity to get rich, including stealing. Despite her position as a pirate captain, Meru does not like to think about anything too difficult and will immediately lose focus whenever a topic comes up that she is uninterested in. She is also very sloppy and is capable of doing the most basic household chores such as cooking and cleaning. Due to being in possession of ancient magic, Meru is somewhat arrogant in her abilities and believes herself to be practically invincible. This would later change, however, after her failed attempt to save Oscar Orko's siblings with her magic and later Mildy. As being part Dagoon, Meru loves being by the ocean and enjoys swimming. As for her past, Meru was born to a Dagoon woman named Rage and an unnamed vampire nobleman. Before Meru was born, Rach left her lover in order to protect both him and the child from any consequences of their relationship due to his high-ranking position as a noble, as well as a vampire being known as a solitary race. She eventually settled in the outlaw city of Andaki and gave birth to Meru there. The two of them lived together in the outer ring of Andiko until Reiju was abducted by Harald Devote when Meru was 8 years old. She was away from their home at the time and learned about what happened after asking her neighbors. Since then, Meru had to survive in the slums until she met another Andika's resident named Chris and had been raised by him ever since. The two of them managed to gather more people who shared their hatred for Baral until they had managed to gather a pirate crew that planned to overthrow Baral and rule Andika. It was then that Meru gave herself the last name Meliusan, which means Master of the Stormy Sea, due to pirate crews typically naming themselves after their leader's last name, and Meru, like most Daguns, did not have one. 6 years after her mother was abducted, Meru learned that she passed away at some point, but not before giving birth to her second daughter named Diana. She wished to see her younger half-sister just once and managed to sneak into Bahral's residence in Andika Central District. After meeting each other for the first time, Meru decided to someday free Diana from Bahral after seeing how lonely she was. Due to Diana in possession of special magic that could heal most injuries, rumors began to spread of Diana as a saint. In order to prevent Diana from being discarded by the Holy Church, Meru used her ancient magic to rescue sailors from other pirates and would eventually be known as the Saint of the Western Seas, thus drawing more attention onto her instead of her sister. With this, I covered everything that I wanted to cover on the vampires. And that'll be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribe to the channel for more manga reviews and One Piece content. And until next time, take care.